Ashes of Creation is a medieval fantasy MMORPG being developed by Intrepid Studios. It is currently in between its alpha stages, and while we don't quite have a release date for Alpha 2 just yet, or the final release, there are definitely some things worth getting excited for about Alpha 2. Now with Alpha 1 out of the way and well into the past, players are eagerly awaiting news of when we will see spot testing of Alpha 2 and more broad testing. Now according to Steven Sharif, the game's director, a large portion of the game is expected to be available when the time comes for Alpha 2 to be playable. The Alpha 2 map will be the persistent alpha map used for later testing in the PTRs and updates, but expect character wipes. Alpha 2 is also expected to be fully on the Unreal Engine 5 platform, with the newer updates to player UI and some of the composed music as well. One of the most notable things available in the new alpha is going to be the character creator that was recently debuted during a live stream. In the live stream, the team spoke in detail about the new character creation tool and about how powerful it was. Being able to truly dial in your character and even make it truly look like you. While other games may have rather simple character creators or complex ones, this one seems to be the most robust when it comes to even changing the smallest of details. While the character creator was a work in progress, it was already showing great flexibility by being able to change hair length at a granular level, hair highlights, lowlights, scars, tattoos, and more. Adding in the ability to blend features from different presets to use for your NPCs or family members is a pretty cool touch as well. Also being able to truly sculpt your character's features using a set of push and pull points to drag features makes this tool incredibly unique. And I'm sure we're going to see some pretty awesome characters. It is also expected that we should be able to level up a little bit further around level 35 in the alpha. And we should also see the beginning of religion and family systems. Additionally, with the characters, we should expect to see all class archetypes available and some secondary classes with the augments. This is going to be a crucial stage, as this is where the bulk of the pre-release balance feedback is going to start rolling in. With there being 64 classes in the game, this is the time to get it right. Obviously, the amount of feedback that comes in once the game goes live is going to be insane. This may also be the time where we get to see more of the elusive Tolnar race. When it comes to the world of Vera, it's not something that we've seen a whole lot of just yet. In Alpha 2, we should expect to see about half of the 480 square kilometer map minus Underrealm. This should allow us to get a better feel for the nodes and biomes and how they interact with each other. Along with the world itself, we should be seeing the weather and seasons of the world, and there should be some new tech that is being worked on that was teased in the most recent dev livestream. It has been noted that some of the biomes in the game will have fixed climates and others will have variable ones along with variable weather. Things like rain can change from a slight drizzle to a full-on thunderstorm. And it was also noted by Steven at one point that the weather may even have buffs. The example given was a mage using frost skill in a winter climate, and that skill would be buffed. This is certainly the most intricate usage of a weather and climate system that I have seen in a game. Much like the weather and climate being variable, there will be also day and night cycle that will influence behavior of, or even the availability of certain types of NPCs. Another portion of the world that we should expect to see more fleshed out is the questing and events. Events have a broad range of applications, ranging from small attacks to holiday events. One of the big ideas around Ashes of Creation is that the world is alive, changing, and reactive to the players. The idea behind events is that successfully taking care of whatever is occurring will yield a positive result to the world, and likewise failing to achieve victory will yield a negative outcome. This could be something like failing to stop an attack on a node will weaken your defenses that you've built up and make it easier for other players to attack. So we should expect to see some of the first implementations of this in Alpha 2. Now the next topic is a big one, combat. Combat can either make or break a game if it does feel good and perform well. Class balance also comes into play here as it really dictates the flow of combat. Combat has already been revamped to add in the action tab hybrid style, but it is also going through another revamp currently based on feedback from players in Alpha 1. It looks like we're going to see a very large pass on active and passive skills, while primary skills are going to be very different from Alpha 1. Alpha 2 will also usher in the weapon skill trees, allowing us to see the augment system, and while we don't currently have a whole lot of detail on what that looks like, I'm sure it will generate a ton of feedback, and I for one can't wait to try it out. Now the bread and butter of Ashes of Creation is the node system. Pretty much all other aspects of the game tie into the node system, so it's important that this gets executed well. In Alpha 2, we can expect to see the further node progression up to the Stage 5 city, and possibly Stage 6, the Metropolis. The Metropolises are expected to be a ½ kilometer in diameter. It'll be pretty cool to see one of these in person. Along with this, we may get to see the first iterations of the Reliquary node building. Now the Reliquary is a building that houses relics that grant passive benefits to node citizens and vassal states. Another aspect of the node system we should be getting our hands on in Alpha 2 is the Freehold System. Now I know a lot of people are excited about what the Freehold System has to offer. Freeholds are the player housing that can be placed anywhere within the zone of influence for a Stage 3 or higher node, so long as it's not too close to a pathing roadway, point of interest, or a spawn area. Now, while that may sound restrictive, the zones of influence are actually pretty large, and this does include vassal nodes. Now, along with the node system comes the game's economy. We can expect to see more of the economy fleshed out in Alpha 2 with the addition of the artisan classes. Your gathering, processing, crafting. Auction houses are planning to be added during this time as well. I'm not certain if we will get to see the player stalls or personal shops yet, but those are very interesting concepts that I want to see more from as well. Now the last bit we can expect to see during the Alpha 2 phase is the beginnings of Naval Combat. Now, Naval Combat was a stretch goal achievement during the game's Kickstarter phases, and we really have only seen some preliminary concepts so far. It is projected that 3 ship classes, Personal, Frigate, and Galleon, will be available in the game with working cannons. But the shipbuilding UI won't be ready just yet. Now the Personal ship can carry 1 to 3 people and is designed for solo and personal content. The Frigate is for group content and can hold up to 8 people. And while the Galleons are for raid content and for up to 40 people. Part of the naval system also will be caravans, which will allow transportation of goods across the sea. Now remember that caravans are for creating static PvP points as well, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this all pans out with naval combat, PvP, the caravans, and working between the nodes. So as you can see, there is a lot to get excited about for Alpha 2 and Ashes of Creation. Now time will tell how much of this will actually make it into the first round of Alpha 2, how long Alpha 2 will be, and when we can expect Alpha 2 to release. Now tell me in the comments below what you are most excited about for Alpha 2 and Ashes of Creation in general, and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more Ashes of Creation content in the future. Thanks for watching.